Just when you thought I wouldn't review another Jaws movie.
You don't have to go while you got ammo.
So, Jaws 2, what do I think? I'd say it's okay. I mean, it's obviously not Jaws, and it does have that sort of unnecessary sequel vibe to it because it is an unnecessary sequel. But this movie is a masterpiece compared to what would come later in the Jaws franchise. Okay, so let me start with the positives, because this movie is quite far from perfect. There's no more Robert Shaw and there's no more Richard Dreyfuss. And since they were the best characters in the original Jaws, that is pretty disappointing. But what's much worse is that the cast they have to replace them isn't very good. I mean, the actors aren't very convincing, and none of their characters really have any depth whatsoever. The dialogue is also pretty poor. The story is also pretty weak. I mean, it doesn't have any of that suspense that the original Jaws had in terms of the story. I mean, I like the story because it's not a retread of the original Jaws, but it's not really that interesting. And from the way it's paced, it doesn't really feel like a proper three-act movie. It really just feels like 2 acts the whole time. And of course, they show way too much of the shark. There's a shark in the water. Because, in the original Jaws, you didn't really see the shark that much, so you kind of had to use your imagination for it, which made it a lot scarier in that sense. Here, the shark is really just a pretty generic killer in a horror movie. Okay, so, let me now get to the positives. Murray Hamilton and Lauren Gray give pretty good performances in the movie. The best thing about the movie is by far Roy Scheider. His performance is great, and in some respects, I do think he gives a better performance than he did in the first movie. But then again, he was kind of overshadowed in the first movie by Robert Shaw and Richard Dreyfuss. Also, I really like the effects in the original Jaws. This time got a bigger budget, and so the effects are better this time. Like, the shark does look better. Do you get too much of it? Definitely, but it does look better than the shark in the first one. And whenever there is an actual tense moment, it is pretty good. The scenes with the shark, I think, are pretty well shot, and they are very thrilling and suspenseful all the time. And I did also like some of the ideas in the script, which I felt were also executed pretty well. See, the best thing I can say about it is that it's entertaining. It's a watchable movie. Is it perfect? Definitely not. But it does do its job decently. So with that said, I'm going to give Jaws 2 a 6.5 out of 10. So that's my take on Jaws 2. I think I might do Jaws 3 and Jaws 4 at some point, but not straight away, because I still have a bunch of other stuff I'd like to do first. But yeah, I'll see if I can get around to that eventually. So if you like this video, please subscribe and join the Timor.